Yo, what's up guys, Daniel here, and today I wanted to talk to you about the Nintendo NX, also known as the Nintendo Switch. They released a 3-minute video that I do recommend you guys go watch because I'm just going to be using screen caps for this breakdown. I think it's just a little easier to work with. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. So the first image that we have is just of this guy chilling on his couch playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. In the second image, you can see that we have this weird dock-like thing with what looks like a tablet inside, and that's because that's exactly what this is. This is a tablet that you dock to this thing that connects to your TV. It has a couple of USB ports, as you can see on the side, but this is where you're going to put your Nintendo Switch when you want to switch it from portable mode to television mode. So this weird rectangular thing is the main controller that you will get out of the box. This is what I believe is included in every single purchase of the system, and as you can see, it's a weird rectangular controller. It honestly does not look very ergonomic, and I'll touch on that more in the next slide, but this is just our first glimpse at the controller. You've got two different thumb pads. It's kind of hard to see in this image, but you've got two different thumb pads. You've got a directional pad that is separate buttons. You can kind of see down by his left thumb that there is a single button. That's how the entire DPad is set up, is it's 4 individual buttons now, not a cross. So that's going to be notable for some people. And then on the other side, you've got your A, B, X, Y buttons and everything that you'd normally expect. So here you can see the Joy-Con controllers removed from the Nintendo Switch's main controller system, and this is where you can see why I was saying I think it'll be more ergonomic than it looked. This little actual controller grip system should help a lot with that. And then in this slide you can see the Joy-Con controllers being attached to the gamepad, and this is how you would actually switch it over to gamepad mode. And then here you can see the Nintendo Switch in its portable mode, and you can see he's still playing Breath of the Wild. So the way that this will work is that you can stick the Joy-Con controllers in, you pull the tablet out of the dock, and it automatically switches over to portable mode. You don't need to reboot, you don't need to do anything weird like that. It's Nintendo, so they got it working as it should. And all in all, this is really great to see. So here we have the person who's playing this actually going outside and playing games at the park. His dog wanted to go outside. If you watch the trailer, you'll see all of this, which again, I recommend that you do. But he went outside with his dog, and he didn't want to stop playing Breath of the Wild because he looks like at an important part or something. And so he just continued to play, which is awesome. That's exactly what you want from this type of hybrid system, is to be able to just get up and go. And that's exactly what he's doing here. A couple of other things to note. You can see the directional pad a lot better in this image. You can see the split D-pad, so very interesting. As far as that square goes, I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure if that's for Amiibo. I'm not sure if that's for something else that they haven't talked about yet. You can kind of see it on the other controller, which I will show you as well. So we'll see. As soon as I get more info, I'll update you guys on this, but I'm just really not sure what that is. And then, as I'm sure you guys might be wondering about the screen, a couple things I want to note on that. All we've gotten officially from Nintendo is that it is an HD display. Rumors had it pegged at being 900p. Although it's very possible it's just 720p. And as long as the display is a good quality display, I honestly don't care as long as it's something 720p or above. In this portable fashion, I'm really hoping for good battery life, and a bit lower screen resolution will help, and it won't impact the overall quality too much. And then here you can see that Nintendo is using cartridges similar to what they do on the 3DS, for example. And this is pretty cool. They're nice and small, so that's going to mean good portability. Flash storage is not very expensive anymore, so I don't imagine they cost too much more to produce than discs. So pricing for games should be similar. I expect $60 just like normal. Which is great because you're getting a home and a portable game for that price. So I actually really like that. The one downside, though, that I do see to the cartridge system that they're doing, being that it's a hybrid, is that unlike a normal console where you can just eject the disc, walk up, grab it, slide another one in, this one you actually have to open the flap and do a bunch of work to get the cartridge out, put the new one in, close the flap, all that. It's really not that big of a deal. and there's not really a better way to do it. Like, you couldn't just stick the cartridge in the dock, because then you wouldn't be able to remove it. But it's just something I see being a little bit more of a hassle than the current system that they use for their home consoles, and generally you want to see refinement, not extra hassle. But I think the added benefit is worth the added slight amount of hassle. Again, it's not a big deal, it's just something I wanted to mention. And then here you can see that the Nintendo NX has a kickstand, which is really cool. And you can see throughout the rest of this trailer, and the slides that I'll show you, that the kickstand does come in handy quite often. I only have one thing to say about this image. Suck it, Apple. As if I wasn't already extremely hyped when I first saw this trailer, this made me super excited. For one, Skyrim on the go, on a Nintendo system. Holy crap. That was just mind-boggling to me. I'm super excited. Beyond that, which we'll see more Skyrim images in a second, you can see that he is removing the controllers. And that's important for the next slide. Now in this image we can see the person, he threw his NX on the table, pulled out the kickstand, removed the controllers, and is just leaning back and using the Joy-Con controllers without any form of like dock or attachment system. They have all of the controls within the Joy-Con controllers themselves, and they're removable, so you can just use them on their own, which is really cool because, while not the most ergonomic thing, you now get that choice. You can choose to use them on their own if you want to, save on carrying stuff and you want that extra portability, or if you want to take the controller adapter with you or the Pro Controller, you can do that, and you get that freedom to choose what you want to do. It's really nice, and especially with a portable system, it's great to have less bulk with you, because this is a larger portable system than we're used to having. So here we have more Skyrim, which is already amazing. But the other thing that I wanted to point out with this image, if you've watched the trailer, you know that what happens in these events is that he gets on the plane, starts playing Skyrim, and then clearly he's off the plane now, he got in a taxi, and he's still playing. Now it's possible he was just on a really short flight, but I'm really hopeful that this means some pretty good battery life. He didn't have the tablet plugged in while he was on the plane in the images we saw. I'm hoping that, with playing full-on AAA games like Skyrim, we can get 4 to 5 hours. That would honestly be pretty satisfactory. Anything above that would be glorious, but if we can get 4 or 5 hours, that would be really good, I think, for a portable console of this caliber. Here we get our first look at the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. Now, this does not come with the system. It is an optional accessory, meaning you pay more for it. But that being said, this looks to be a really solid controller. We have, your normal thumbsticks. We have a proper directional pad on this, not the split buttons. We have all the normal buttons you'd expect, along with that weird square button thing that was found on the left side of the Joy-Con, and then another round button, which I believe to be a share button. And we'll speak more on that in a moment when we can get a little bit better picture of it. So here we have a couple things. The big thing that I want to touch on in this slide is where they are mounting the Nintendo NX. So this system, Nintendo Switch, man, I'm going to say that NX a lot. It's going to take a while to get used to. But we have the Switch being mounted in this dock thing that is actually a car mount. So again, if you watch the video, you'll see that they slide this in there. I think this is really cool for like families. If you're going on a road trip, you can just have that mounted in your car, slide this in, have the kids play games in the back without bothering you. Or even if you're an adult and you just, I'm gonna if I ever get my friend to drive me somewhere, I'll just stick this in their car and I'll just chill playing video games while they have to drive. And here we can get a better image of the Nintendo Switch being mounted in the car, so you can kind of see more of what I was talking about as far as sitting in the back seat and playing games. You can also see that they're playing Mario Kart on this thing, and they're playing in split screen mode, and each one of them is using one of the Joy-Con controllers. Now, I do think that this was a factor in Nintendo using the split D-pad rather than the regular D-pad, because in reality, it just functions like a normal controller. It functions like A, B, X, Y buttons. You can see that they're both holding the controller in a similar fashion, and it just allows for more options when it comes to how you want to play. You can choose to each have one Joy-Con controller, or each person can use multiple, or you can use Pro controllers. Like, there's a lot of options here, and I think that as long as Nintendo can market them well, it'll be really successful. And then here we get our best look at the Mario Kart game for the Nintendo Switch. And this is why I didn't talk about it too much before, because you didn't really get a good look at it. A couple of important things to note here. A lot of people were saying this is Mario Kart 8. That's not the case. Mario Kart 8, for one, doesn't have King Boo, and while they could certainly add characters, I don't think they would change the item system. And as you can see, as both people have the option for 2 items. This seems to be more of like a cross between Mario Kart 8 and Double Dash, so I think this is something new built for the new system, which is super exciting. I really don't think it's just a port. So great news there. Mario Kart's always a great game, and being able to play it with friends is always fun, so this just seems like a big win. And then here we get a look at 2 Nintendo Switches back to back, 4 people playing NBA, so there is like a local wireless multiplayer support, which is really cool. And then I don't know if they're playing NBA 2K or if they're playing EA, NBA Live or whatever. Both EA and Take-Two, who owns 2K, are listed as partners for making games for this, so it could be either or. I will do a full explanation in a separate video of all of the different partners that are working on games for this, so make sure and subscribe so you guys don't miss that, because I'm going to kind of go more in depth as to what it could mean for the future of the system. But yeah, really cool. And as you can see, it's kind of hard to tell in this image, but if you look on the left side, you can see that the person playing is just using one Joy-Con controller. So whichever NBA game this is, you can use one controller per person. So again, you can just take the system with you with the regular 2 Joy-Con controllers that you would normally have and be able to just pull them off and play 2-player. And here we get our first look at a 3D Mario game for the Nintendo Switch, which it's pretty rare that Nintendo launches a system with a 3D Mario game. I can't actually remember that happening. I'm sure it has, but I don't remember it. Normally recently, if they've been doing at launch, you just get New Super Mario Bros. Or New Super Mario Bros. U, or New Super Mario Bros. Something or other that nobody cares about. I mean, they're fun games, but 3D Mario is what people want, and this is exciting. And then in this image, we get an even better look at the new 3D Mario game. It's a little bit more close up, and you can see, a lot more going on here. There's rings right there on the left side. There's a heart on the right side. All in all, this looks really exciting. I'm not sure if this is like a Mario Galaxy-esque game or if it's more akin to Super Mario 64, which is what I'm hoping for. I would love to see some kind of like Super Mario 64 sequel. That would make me so happy. The reason that I pulled this slide and thought it was notable is, again, if you watch the trailer, you'll see that the girl who was playing the 3D Mario game grabbed the system, still had 3D Mario loaded up on the system, came over, and then started playing multiplayer. Now, I'm not sure if that means we're going to get some kind of multiplayer for 3D Mario. I'm not sure if maybe this was a tease for it, and that's why I wanted to stop on it. Now, I'm not sure how that would work, because Mario games generally need some kind of camera control. We'll see if that's even what it actually is, or if this was just them wanting to show more of the social aspect. But I'm kind of hoping for some kind of like co-op or multiplayer-esque experience from a Mario game. I think Nintendo could do something pretty cool with it. We'll see. And then here you can see a couple of important things. So first off, we have Splatoon confirmed for Nintendo NX or Nintendo Switch, I guess I need to start saying more. Which is really cool. But also, and the more notable thing here for me, if you look at the round button just below the thumbstick, it looks kind of like a camera to me. I looked at it pretty closely, and that's what I think it is. And that's why I think that there is a share button on this. And that ties in with what I mentioned about the Pro Controller, where there is very likely a share button. It looks like the same button to me. And I think that that's pretty exciting. And then here we have an image of an eSports match, and it looks like from this image, Nintendo's going to start taking esports seriously. Maybe we could see some bigger Splatoon tournaments, bigger Smash tournaments. All of that's very exciting. I think that's definitely a step in the right direction. Between that and I'm really hoping that Nintendo revises their policies when it comes to YouTubers. If they do that, with the share button and focusing on esports, Nintendo could have a really good strategy for trying to get back into being a mainstream, popular product. That was one of the big issues with the Wii U, besides it being so poorly marketed, was that they didn't really allow YouTubers to talk about it in the right way by restricting monetization. And they also, didn't focus on esports, even though this is a really big, growing medium. So this is all just a move in the right direction. Again, the YouTube thing remains to be seen, but this seems very much like Nintendo has a focus on esports. And then last but definitely not least, we do get confirmation that the product is still on target for March of 2017. Now at this point, I do not think Nintendo would delay it. Generally, they would know, less than 6 months in advance if they're going to be able to launch a product on time. And I think that's part of why we waited so long to get information from Nintendo about it, is they wanted to ensure they'd be able to hit that before reaffirming the release date. It is coming on time. There are no delays. The report that's going to be delayed were all wrong, which I'm very excited for. I cannot wait to get my hands on this system. That all being said, you guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you again for watching, and if you guys liked this, make sure and like the video. If you don't like the NX or Nintendo Switch and you think it's just crap, your PC Master Race or whatever, go ahead and dislike it. I don't really care. Make sure and subscribe if you want to see more info on the NX. Again, I will be talking about games and all that other stuff later. Just a lot of videos coming, a lot on my mind right now, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here.